Okay, hello everybody. So this is my second attempt at doing this. So there were some issues with the first set of videos, and so there were some technical issues, and so I just thought I'd just go ahead and summarize what I had talked about. So welcome those of you who are new to organic chemistry. My name is Jeffrey Allison, and so I'm going to be filming this video for both Organic 1 and Organic 2. The formats are very similar to each of those classes, meaning pretty much the classes are styled the exact same way. The only difference will be obviously the course material covered and the exam dates, which you can look those up in the syllabus, and I'll go over that briefly as well. So in case you didn't already know this, I've been teaching chemistry at Texas State now for about 5 years. And teaching since 2004. So this is going on, over 15 years of teaching this material, and I happen to love teaching organic chemistry. This is my favorite subject to teach, and one of the main reasons why you have me as an instructor at Texas State. I am an instructor at ACC, but I teach very far south, the Hayes campus, and we currently don't offer that as a organic chemistry at that particular campus right now, and I just loathe having to drive too far into Austin. So that is probably the main reason why you are seeing me here today teaching this class. Now, as far as what you need in order to be successful in the course, well, there are always strategies that are talked about, but I'm just going to lay it out here right up front. You have to have a regular study schedule. I have set this class up in an asynchronous format, meaning there are videos that you watch. You can watch them in your own time, but it is up to you to stay up to date on the homework and make for sure that you have signed up for an exam and take an exam before the exam deadline occurs, okay? And so there are a lot of nuances to these online courses that have to be followed. So let me kind of just go into some of the stuff right now that I think you should be aware of. And so we're going to start with the biggest change to the course this semester, which is the switching from Tracks to Canvas. So Tracks is going to be completely phased out by the end of the fall. So I just decided to just do away with that and just move everything into the Canvas format. And so that is where we're going to start. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and this should be the first screen that you see with a list of classes that you're enrolled in. So depending on, which class it is, let's just go ahead and click on Organic 1. Organic 1 is going to have, obviously the syllabus, which is going to be available right here. I also have available right as the first thing you see, so it's kind of knocking you over the head right when you come in the front door, as there's the syllabus, and you can have a look at it, and I recommend you read over it this week, and if you have any questions that you email me about those. So I also have some exams posted here as well, and their dates, okay? Now, if you are in, there's only one section of Organic Chemistry 1, so this doesn't really apply to you. But for Organic Chemistry 2, I am teaching 2 sections, and I believe one of those sections is a Monday, Wednesday, and one of them is a Tuesday, Thursday. So those of you that are in the Monday, Wednesday section really need to schedule to take the exam on the Monday, and the Tuesday, Thursday need to schedule to take the exam on the Tuesday, unless something happens with your schedule and you get permission from me to do otherwise, because I don't want all of the tests being kind of lumped in all on one particular day, and that's fair to spread it out in that manner. Okay, so so some stuff that you should be aware of. So I have in the Organic 1 website, I have been putting in the lectures into what are called the pages. And so here you see the lectures kind of just laid out for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why I'm doing it in this format is because the videos did not copy over correctly from Tracks, and so I am putting them in this particular location. Okay, now those of you who are kind of waiting with bated breath from Organic 2, well, if we switch over to that course, you're going to see something very similar. Again, also the exams posted here as well with those deadlines. Okay, and then notice again, there are 2 different syllabi for 2 different sections, even though we'll be covering the material pretty much parallel to the other course. So not a lot of differences there. But when you click on the pages here, there is nothing to be seen. And in fact, the only thing that will be available here in the pages will be episode 0, which I will post as soon as it comes into creation when you're watching it right now. So this is obviously present in this tab. That will be the only thing there. So where you will find your lecture videos is if you go to Files, and then you will see again some more copies of the syllabus right here. And then there is this thing called Resources, SI Resources, and Syllabus. Let's click on Resources. And in Resources, you have an Organic 1 review, an NMR review, the notes from each chapter, review problem sets for the final and useful charts. Organic 1 will also have a very similar set of things in there in this exact same location as well, and I'll go over it with those guys in just a moment. So if you click on the lectures online, you will see that I have subdivided the lectures already for exam 1, exam 2, and exam 3. And then if you click on that, that's going to bring up a list of links that will take you to YouTube videos for those respective lectures. Okay, one of the things I am trying to do right now is to update chapter headings for these, but for right now you kind of get the idea by following along in the book, but I will add those probably this week so you'll know which chapter each lecture is coming from, and I am going in the order of the textbook as the material is presented. Organic 1 covers chapters 1 through 11 in Solomon's, and Organic 2 covers chapters 12 through 20, okay, maybe even chapter 21 if we get to organometallic material. So that is where you find the lectures for Organic 2, just so that you're aware of that. Okay, now going back and scrolling back one to some of the other things that are present in here, going back to resources, like I said, the notes are present here for every chapter. Okay, so you can download these and look at these while I'm lecturing. I would recommend, however, that you do write your own notes and not just passively read these and watch the video, because your retention is just not going to be that great if you're just watching the videos and reading along with me. You really do need to be actively writing this stuff down as we're going through it together. Okay, now I'm going to switch back to Organic 1 real fast. I apologize having to go back and forth, but I figured this would be the best way so I don't have to make 2 separate videos since they're almost going to be identical to each other. The major differences for you guys is, again, your lecture videos are in the pages, and right now I only have 5 videos posted in there. That is going to change very soon as the week progresses. There will be more videos uploaded there, and you can see I've put the chapter headings as well, and episode 0 will be found in here as well. In your files, you will also have resource folders, and in those resource folders will also be some of the online lectures. This is not available right now because I'm taking those out of here and putting them in separately because they didn't copy over correctly from Track, so you won't see that. But what you will see will be notes, handouts, and slideshows. Now let me just assure everybody who's taking both of my classes, and if you know anything about me, I don't like PowerPoint presentations, and I'll just put that out there. I do them for general chemistry because they require usually that level of structure for those courses just to keep everybody on track, but I am not a big fan of those. I feel like that they take away from the real creative component of teaching this course. So I don't use PowerPoints really at all in Organic 2, and And the only time I use them in Organic 1 is where I'm forced to, and that is when we were covering spectroscopy. So there will be a presentation in Chapter 2 where I do an IR spectroscopy, and also there will be updated Chapter 9 will be all PowerPoint because it's all NMR stuff. Those of you in Organic 2 that need to review your NMR, there is an NMR review that's available for you in your files section as well that you probably saw in the files resources folder. Okay, so this is kind of good. Both classes are kind of saying what everybody else kind of has available to them. Okay, and you will have your lecture notes as well, just like what you saw for Organic 2. Your lecture notes will also be available in here, chapter by chapter, 1 through 11, that are available to you. So there's a lot of things in here that you have access to that are designed to help you be successful in the course. Now, I want to kind of go back to the syllabus now for a few minutes and kind of talk a little bit about some of that stuff, because there are several things in here that are important. So first of all, I will be available for Zoom meetings pretty much throughout the day. Mornings are preferential, but I can set up Zoom meetings, whatever works with our schedule. One of the things that you will need to get a copy of is the textbook, okay? And so the textbook kind of has this, looks like this, okay? And it's got this, these 3 pictures on it, and some pills here, Easter Island pictures, and all that kind of stuff. This is an excellent textbook. This is the 12th edition of Solomon's, and it is listed here in the specific one, and that is the one that I have everything kind of structured in terms of chapter by chapter following out of this book, as well as suggested problems that I don't grade, but that are very, very good that are in this book. You can use the earlier edition, so you can use the 11th edition. It's very similar, but like I said, those questions that I'm asking you to look at aren't going to necessarily match up perfectly. Okay, the other, and probably this is the biggest thing that you need to have for this class, and this is for both sections, is a good way to connect to the internet, that you have a webcam and a working microphone. You want to make for sure that all of that stuff is in working order before you go in and take your exams with Examity, because they will require that you have all of those things before they will open up and let you take the exams. Okay, and I'm going to go through all of that in just a minute. The other thing that you're required to purchase is a subscription to the Sapling homework. Now, I've sent out several emails today about how to access that, and I want to also again point out that for the Sapling, okay, which I believe I have that ready to go here. For Organic 1, there's really only one section, 003, but some folks have already had issues signing up for the correct section of Organic Chemistry 2. Just double check your schedule and make for sure that you know whether you're in section 001 or 003, because those are 2 different sections, and it's going to put you in with that group of students, okay? So just so that you're aware of that. So these are all set up, are active, and are live. The homework will always be due on the last day that the test is available from Examity, by midnight, by 11:59 p.m. of that day. So wherever the deadlines were that were in the syllabus, that will be the day that the homework is due for those chapters covered up to that point, okay? And that's what it will be every time we have an exam. That's when all the homework is going to be due for those particular chapters, okay? Now, as far as, let's see, I think we've covered most of the major talking points here that I wanted to go through, but I've kind of left one big item out, and that is that is the exams itself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to go back to the syllabus here just for a minute and walk you through a little bit more through this. So again, very similar style format for Organic 1 and Organic 2. Again, the only differences here being the chapters that are being covered. One thing that is recommended for both classes is that you get a copy of the solutions manual, just because that can help you work through those questions that are in the textbook. If you overuse it, though, it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to be just like, you know, lecture, and you're agreeing with what I'm saying. So you have to kind of respect that as a tool and not abuse it. But I do like it, and it's nice to have, especially when you're studying and it's late at night and you want to know the answer to a question. So prerequisite for Organic 1 is General Chemistry 2, 1342, and obviously the prerequisite for Organic 2 is Organic 1, 2341. So, you know, I trust everybody has already had the prerequisites coming into this class. Now here, as you can see, is a list of the chapters that are covered and when the relevant exams are. And on the column on the right-hand side, you see a list of all the suggested problems that I have, and these are out of the back of the chapter in the textbook, okay? The textbook is designed very well. Okay, it has lots of great things in it. Towards the end of each chapter is a great breakdown of all the reactions, and that page summarizes the entire chapter in like 1 or 2 pages. So I do like this book. I was using the 5th edition of this textbook when I was an undergraduate, and then we are now in the 12th edition. I've talked with you know, Professor Solomon. I like his style. I think this is probably one of the best textbooks out there for this subject, in my opinion. Others would disagree, but I think you guys have the best one. So as far as Organic 1, again, it's going to be pretty much the same deal, except different chapters and a little bit different number of questions, okay? And again, a little bit different spacing of the chapters as well. Organic 1 has kind of some short chapters at the beginning and some much longer chapters later, and so that's why it's spaced out just not quite as evenly as the way things are spaced out in Organic 2. But nevertheless, it's pretty much the exact same format. I have the same kind of pep speech here in both syllabi about studying at least 2 to 3 hours outside of every 1 hour of lecture, and that's kind of a bare minimum. You really do need to be hitting this every day if you're wanting to get an A in this course, just because the amount of material that's required, and the amount of studying that's required, it's quite a lot. I mean, I remember having to learn this, and it's just a brand new way of thinking about stuff. Once it clicks, it's awesome, but you know, until you get to that moment where it's like, you know, the light bulb snaps on, it's a real struggle. But you will get there, but it takes time, and you've got to stick with it. As far as the homework goes, and this is true for both sections, the homework is going to be worth 75 points of your grade. And so if an exam is worth 100 points, well, then 75 points is like 3/4 of an exam. And so doing that exam and doing those homeworks and getting them turned in on time can definitely help boost your grade. I don't accept late homework, though, so if you miss the windows and you're not able to get it done by the deadline, then you're not going to get the points for those homeworks. As far as SI is concerned, you do have an SI instructor. Every single organic chemistry section I'm teaching, both Organic 1 and Organic 2, have an SI instructor, and they should be or have been in contact with you already to talk about scheduling and when they want to hold sessions with you. You will need to attend 10 of these sessions, and they are for part of your grade. And so those sessions will count for 25 points, or about 5% of your total grade. So again, that's like 1/4 of an exam by doing these sessions. And also there will be a deadline at which you cannot attend session anymore, which will happen towards the end of the semester. Your SIs will announce when this deadline is, but you need to make for sure that you are in attendance of these regularly and not try to put it off till the end, or otherwise you won't get caught up in your attendance in order to get credit for doing these SI sessions. Okay, so that's kind of that's a nice way to get 100 points to your grade. That gives you quite a bit of material where you can review and make mistakes and try and learn how the course works, where you're not just being pinned down on an exam question one way or the other. And so that's why that is there. I am not doing quizzes this semester simply because there's just way too much. I would have to rely on Examity far too much, and I really just want to do that for major testing assignments. Also, all the lectures will be recorded and posted as I've shown you. The starting point is episode 0. We've already talked about that. As far as all the classes are concerned, if you miss an exam and you do not tell me why you missed an exam, you will be withdrawn from the course, okay? Also, if you have accommodations that allows you to have extended time on an exam, I will need to get those letters this week in order to make for sure that I'm able to, prepare the exam for you to have those extended times. And that is something that is delegated not by me, but through the university using the Office of Students with Disabilities, which is talked about right here. A lot of you have already done this. And so if you've done that, great. But if you haven't, you've got to get those into me on time. Now, as far as the way Examity works, unfortunately, these are kind of the instructions that are for tracks. And so a lot of you are asking about the Sakai and what that's all about. And that's because I just did not have the updated directions yet for Canvas. And so that is something that that is something that I have sent out to the class. And so all of the contact support material is on there as well. Now, one of the things I will tell the class right now, just so that you're aware of, is there is an issue with using Chrome and Examity at the moment. I was in a 1-hour meeting today online with the representatives with Examity, trying to hammer out that issue. And it's not just our class, it is many classes across campus. And so this is something that is really on the fault of Examity trying to get hammered out. I know for a fact that it will work with Microsoft Edge. So if you have Microsoft Edge, you can access the Examity. So when you click on this and you're using Chrome, it says something that, like, you've logged out of your session. Well, obviously you haven't, because you probably haven't even created an account yet, but that's a glitch in the system. When you click on this normally, it will bring up something where you can log into the system and then go in and schedule your exams accordingly, okay? So if you have access to Microsoft Edge, you can do that now. Otherwise, if you only have access to Chrome, there's going to be a little bit of a waiting period while they try to get that figured out, hopefully this week, okay? But I would try another browser if you are having issues trying to get into Examity at the moment, okay? So that's kind of the biggest, that was the biggest thing. And one of the reasons that spurred me on to make this video again is because of all of these changes. And so that way you're aware of this. And I may have mentioned it in passing, but I'm making a point of it to talk about it now, that Chrome isn't working very well with this. But Microsoft Edge does work, and you can get into the system that way. And it is very important that you do set up your accounts this week so that you can get in and start scheduling your exam times, okay, for those slots. Now, the exams themselves, which I guess I should mention a little bit about what they are going to entail. The exams are actually going to be 30 multiple choice questions, the hourly exams. So very similar to the style of the test that you would get in class. And I'm allotting 2 hours to take those exams. I believe this is specified here. Yes, 30 multiple choice questions in 2 hours. The final exam will be more. It will be a longer exam, probably 50 multiple choice questions, and it will be 3 hours. Every exam after the testing period is over, okay, will have a key posted, okay, and that key will become available once I have all the tests in. Now, there is an option that you're going to see in Examity that says that there are multiple exam attempts allowed. And that is only there for students that have issues, technical issues with Examity. Okay, so if we were sitting in the classroom and all the lights went out, test is over. Okay, we can't take a test in the dark. So we would obviously reschedule to take the exam again. This has happened before. And so one of the things that, kind of causes a little bit less friction in the system is if I set it up so that there are multiple attempts allowed. But those multiple attempts are basically for folks that have had technical issues with the exam, where the Examity site went down or there was a major failing of your system and you were not able to get back in to take the exam. Okay, that is generally what I schedule for the day after that. Okay, so like on the Wednesday, that's where I will take care of those issues. And then once where everybody is done, including the ones that have had technical issues, then I put the keys up. The only exam that there will not be a key posted of will be the final exam, because that I'm going to try to keep that under wraps. But you will be able to see your score, okay, and how you did on the exam. Okay, so that is, I believe, that is all of the major talking points here. The only other thing to mention, I guess, is the grade breakdown. So the 3 exams in the final come out to 400 points, and the SI and the homework is another 100. So it's out of 500 points is what your grade is based on. You have 2 weeks to come back to me if you have issues with any of these, any of the grades that you've gotten for me to look at. But the system grades the exam automatically based on the exams that are the keys that are entered in. So there shouldn't be a lot of grading issues that arise. But if you have a question, certainly feel free to ask me about it. I'm trusting everybody to follow the honor code in this course. I don't want to hear about people, test questions floating around. When you take the exam with Examity, I have everything set up to a much milder, kinder level 2 system. Level 2 system basically means they log you in, get you set up, verify your identity, log off, and then videotape you while you are taking the lecture. If this system is abused, I will go back to level 3, and level 3 is where you have somebody sitting there the entire time watching you. And I don't like that, okay, personally. I think I can trust everybody in this class to be honest, okay? But if you were taking an exam in the class, what are some things that you would not do? You would not take your cell phone out, okay, and start using it. You would not just get up and walk out of the room, nor would you start talking to somebody else. So again, just like if you were taking the test in class, you have to be able to be focused on just taking that test for that time period, okay? I don't think that is unreasonable to ask, okay? But again, I'm going to ask that everybody, verify that, you understand this, saying this now, that you will be honest when you take these exams, and that you will follow the honor code. And unfortunately, there have been violations of this, more so online than I have ever had in an in-class lecture. But there have been issues where students have tried to access material from third-party websites, and I am made aware of those from that website. So please be careful about using that material. Okay, it's unfair. It's definitely cheating. There's no gray area there as far as I'm concerned. But I think everybody already knows that, and it's only fair to everybody else in the class. So just follow the honor code, and you'll be fine. We've already talked about special needs, and as far as drop policy goes, the last day to drop this class without a grade is September 9th. That's the census date. But after the census date, from September 9th until October 26th, if you drop the class, you will get a W on your transcript. That's what automatic W means. After October 26th, well, then you are not allowed to drop the class unless you withdraw from the university and go to 0 hours, which that day will be November 19th. And so those are some important dates just to be aware of. If you're taking the lab, well, then you're going to need to check out through your laboratory instructor. I said the stock room, but a lot of you may not be going there, but you need to check out with need to mention this to your instructor if you're going to be withdrawing from the lab. And again, the syllabus is subject to change as needed. Okay, so I think I've covered all the major talking points that I wanted to go over with the class. We've talked about Examity, we've talked about sampling, we've talked about the grade breakdown, we've talked about where to find the lectures and where to find the lecture notes, and how to get a hold of me and how to contact me. You can, of course, feel free to email me at any time with your concerns. I've already gotten several emails today from students, letting me know about, things that have been going on, especially with Examity. So I think that has kind of prompted me to redo this whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share now. And I hope that wasn't too haphazard. I think everybody can probably follow along with what I was saying within both classes. But if you have any questions about any of that stuff, please feel free to contact me or send me an email, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Okay, I'm sorry that this was taken down. I had to put it back up, but hopefully this will get all of those questions resolved that we've had that have come up during this day. And I hope that all of you are doing well, and I feel bad that I'm not able to meet with you in person, as I do like to get to know my students a lot more face-to-face, but things will eventually return back to normal, hopefully sooner rather than later. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave the video. So guys, I hope everybody's doing all right out there. And everybody take care, and I will see you guys again soon in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.